All right, this is לרפואה שלמה of יהודה בן לאה ורחל בת זלפה. We were talking the last few days, we were talking about the, especially in Tu B'Shvat, we're talking about the good and the bad in the world, and so on and so forth. We went a little bit this morning about the essence of the essence of good and why there is bad. However, it says in Sefer Kohelet, "Ze l'umat ze asa ha'elokim." One against the other, God had created them. In other words, the same structure that we're going to find on the side of the Kedusha with the with the 10 Sfeirot, with the way of conduct and how things go up and down. The same thing we find in the other side, in the Sitra Achara. The same exact thing. And this is also bepratiut, also in terms of ourselves. As much as the Nefesh HaElokit has the 10 Sferot in it, so is in the tzad of the Sitra Achara is also the same exact thing. And this has 10 different, call it powers of Tum'ah on impurity that comes. For example, if we have Midat HaChesed, so we know what Chesed is, the parallel of Midat HaChesed on the Sitra Achara will be, let's say, Ta'ava, desire. Just the mirror image, the other side of it. Gvura, right, will be anger. Right? So that's why we say, Kol Ezu Gibor HaKovesh et Yitzro, right? Real heroism is a person who knows how to overcome his anger, his desires, right? And we say, Kol HaKoes, Kilu Avad Avodah Zarah. Any person who is angry is Kilu Avad Avodah Zarah, and so on. The Rambam, the famous Rambam on it, and many other poskim write about that matter altogether. Now, when the catalysts, the source for the machshava, or the root of the machshava of the person, which is talking and action and so on, comes from the tzad of the kedusha we don't have. The expression for that will be in doing mitzvot and ma'asim tovim and so on and so forth. When he's immersed in that, his action, mitzvah goeret mitzvah, avera goeret avera. And lehavdil, when the root of his, or the initiating force of his actions, his thoughts, and so on and so forth, will be from the Sitra Achara, it will be anything that is not included in the Torah in terms of the mitzvot and so on and so forth. If we were just as excited about learning as about eating, you could have become a Gadol Ador. He doesn't even hear me. So, in other words, not only the averot are a result of the Sitra Achara, what comes out from it, and you take it that whichever way you want and from everywhere you want, anything that is not dedicated or generated le'asiyat ha-mitzvot u'shmiratam, to keep the mitzvot and to do so. In other words, anything that is not mitzvah kedusha is mitzvah tumah. There is no in between. We could do the same thing. We could do the same exact thing. We could eat. I can eat, and somebody else can eat, or so I don't want to say me, but somebody else will eat, and someone else will eat, and one will eat for the sake of have koach to be able to do mitzvot, because he's mitzvah of the Torah and so on and so forth. So that achila, that eating, will be mitzvah hakdusha, because it's a mitzvah, and therefore everything is mitzvah. And the other person eats for ta'ava, for pure sheer desire, is mitzvah tumah. Now, that by itself is something that you could really dwell on for a week without doing anything else, just on that concept, and analyzing exactly what you're doing to see where your actions stem from. Measure. A person can go on vacation, mitzvah kedusha and mitzvah tumah. A person can do a mitzvah, and there's a mitzvah that we call, being a husband and wife together. It's a mitzvah, right? It's a mitzvah like any other mitzvah. And that act is the holiest act of unification. And then the same person could be with his wife. And he could be misada tum'ah legamre. And you should know that the higher the potential for kedusha, the higher the potential for tum'ah as well, in anything you do. Again, that's why you have to be super careful when you deal with Torah. You have to make sure that you check yourself all the time, that the reason that you do the Torah is for the right reason, even though Chazal told us, Mishelo lishma ba lishma, because that's the way of the Torah, the koach of the Torah. However, this is, I would say, the beginning stages. Once you already acquire Torah and you're still acting in the same, let's call it defective way, you got to be very careful. Got to be very, very careful. And again, everything that you do in your life, you need to decide. There's no such thing as sitting on a fence. If you sit on a fence, you rip your pants. You're going to fall. There's no such thing as sitting on a fence. You're not a fakir in downtown Bombay. Kedusha, Tumah. We see remazim for that all over throughout history. Right, Ben? Exactly where, for example, where Moshe Rabbeinu was buried, right across from Baal Peor, the most disgusting, repulsing Avodah Zarah. Moshe Rabbeinu was there right before they were entering the land to tell you, you got to choose. You have to choose. You could be like Moshe Rabbeinu, or you could be like the biggest Avodah Zarah. Which one? Which one would it be? Yes or no? And you can't say, let me sleep on it, baby, baby, let me sleep on it. You know the song? Meatloaf. Oh, let me sleep on it. Baby, baby, you know, so you have to do some chazara. Chazarat HaShnapс. You can't say, you have to make a decision, everything you do, and you need to evaluate your actions. You can go to work, and your work will be like kedusha, and your going to work will be hechsher mitzvah, and you can go to work, and it will be completely mitzvah tumah. Everything. It's a very fundamental concept to remember and to dwell on and to really apply. And now do you know it? You have to apply to everything you do. You tell me, Rabbi, why do you do this to us? We were going to be working in the dark. Why do you need to know this? Because it's my obligation to tell you that, to clear the obstacles from those who can't see. You have to know it. You're dealing with dynamite. Your life. Most precious thing, the most precious thing you'll ever have in your life, besides your children, at least when they're small, but your children is your life. By the way, your children are a result of that preciousness of life. You're not going to have anything else in your life, again, besides your kids, that is going to be as precious as your life. And many times it is the element in which we waste in the most irresponsible way possible. What is life? And how do we live our life? And it's never too late to put down the phone. It's never too late to make a change in your life. It's never too late to step to the good side. It's never too late. And if you have a question about what you do, it means that you have to change it. It's time to change. Time to step up. Don't fall into the numbness of bad habits. Change it in any moment you can. Now, this world that we live in, every time I say a sentence today, it's like I get songs in my head. I don't know what happened. I gotta change the batteries or something. The reception doesn't. Transistor. You guys don't know what transistors are, all right? Transistors were a wonderful thing. Yeah, Southwest Kandar or something like that. Transistors are wonderful things. They're like this big, like the size of your telephone. And we used to have the world in it. I remember somebody once gave me as a kid.
In the vacuum tubes.
They gave me a radio that had short waves. It had AM, FM, and then short waves and long waves. We used to sit there for hours as a kid, just listen to all kind of like radio stations from who knows where. I used to hear codes, like Alpha, Bravo. It's like, what in the world is that? But it was just fascinating as a kid. It was better than TV, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, this world that we live in is what we call Olam HaKlipot. Klipa is a husk, but we will change it and call it more of like an imperfection. Even though the HaKadosh Baruch Hu fills all the world, every nook and cranny in the universe, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, and what we call the light of Ein Sof goes through the 10 Sferot and brings down from every world, ascends down, further down, or cascading down. This world is called Olam HaKlipot, or Olam HaSitra Achara, or Olam HaKlipot VeSitra Achara. Depends how you refer to it. And the issue is that the Kedusha in this world, Eina Shora, or in this case, sometimes we say Bracha, but the Kedusha Eina Shora Ela Bedavar Hasamui Min Ha'ain. Only something that is hidden, that is quiet, is not on the surface. That's when you're going to find Kedusha. The more it's hidden, the more Kedusha it would be. And why is that? Because in our world, as long as the Nivra, the creation, the person or whatever it is dismissing himself, the what we say, the haratzon lekabel, the need to receive, and his desires, and so on and so forth, canceling himself to the reality of God and God's will, only to there's a Kedusha. Lema davar domeh. Remember actually, probably guys don't remember anything. You're so young, it's crazy. Baruch Hashem. But anyway, when we used to watch westerns when we were kids, everybody watched westerns. Even rabbis used to watch westerns. John Wayne was like Moshe Rabbeinu, lehavdil. He was like a big guy. Everybody loved John Wayne. He was a hero. Anyway, lehavdil. When you watch Cowboys, there's one of the famous lines there. It was, this town is too small for the two of us. When you fool yourself, there's no room for God inside. You want to have a little God inside of you? It's not a problem. There's a release valve over there on the bottom. Open it up, slowly open it up. Let yourself flow out, clean the system, right? There's all the murk that goes inside, packs you up, clogs your spiritual arteries. You're all full with yourself. Empty yourself up. Empty yourself up. Don't ask yourself, what should I ask for God? Ask yourself, what does God want from me? There's a whole book, and we said it a million times, Chovat Ha'olam Be'olamo. That's the Mesilat Yesharim. It needs to be clear to you as there is sun in the sky, what is your job in this world? Why did you come here? Chovat Ha'adam Be'olamo. She'yitba'er la'adam. To be clear to you. Everybody has different talents. And for a reason. And everybody should utilize his talents to become a better vehicle to the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Mekubalim had yichudim, certain meditations that they used to do, when they went through every part of their face, and later on they went to every part of their body in a meditative way, attributing to them different names of Hashem, a different combination for Hashem, to prepare themselves to become a chariot for HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu will choose them as the vessel to bring the Kedusha through them to this world. That's the whole concept of Moshe Rabbeinu. Ro'eh Ne'eman, a loyal shepherd that did not put himself anyway. Always the benefit of the other, even if it was a little goat, or whatever it was, a sheep, running after. Always putting himself for others. That is a person who is capable of becoming a kadosh, holy. Because he's mevatel atzmo lemetziut haboreh. He's canceling himself to the reality of a kadosh baruch hu. He says, me, I need to come with once and a whole list of things. First of all, I should do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, and what does He want from me? And these are points that I can tell you for a fact most people don't think about. Why? Because I don't have time for anybody. And don't forget, nobody will have time for you either. You have to think about it. Each and every one of you has a unique talent that nobody in this room or in this world has. Only you. You need to find it within yourself. You need to discover it. What is this thing? And then bring it, share it with others. So the Kedusha only in things like this. In our world, it doesn't work like that. And when there is a chisaron, there is lacking in your ability to really hand yourself over to the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's when the sitra achara, the bad side, the impurity latches in. That's the chip in the enamel that protects you. It's a little chip there, and through that the bacteria goes in until you need to pull the tooth out. Bitul atzmi. Me, I need to come with demands, including, Rabotai, very not popular, including demanding from God to bring Mashiach now. Who are you to demand anything? Did you do half of the things that God asks you to do? And you demand? Who, by the way, who doesn't want to see Mashiach? The Messianic era, Bet HaMikdash, who? Anybody here? I don't think so. I think you have to be out of your mind not to want to.
Doesn't every Jew secretly think he's a Mashiach?
No. Well, a lot of Jews like this, but apparently they weren't always, at the time they didn't have, Long Island Jewish over there in psychiatric word, However, as much as we want, we need to understand that Kadosh Baruch Hu will send it to us whenever He sees it's right, at any given moment. Hints for that you can find in the Rambam. When people talk about the year 6000, it's going to be the end of the world. Rambam says, don't ever say that. Don't even think that. You can come whatever you want. Kadosh Baruch Hu is not bound by anything time or duty or anything like this. When he wants to come, he'll come. The only thing when he bounds himself, and look at the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is to his covenant that he says that he gave his words to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. He, himself, and we. Is our word worth anything? That's why I said to you 1,000,000 times, make sure that your word is worth something. If your word is not worth anything, what is there left? Words is what we created. God created heaven and earth. If your word is not worth anything, it's a done deal. Now, you want to stop or you want to continue? Anybody wants to stop? Okay. I love ginger. Anyway, so now talking about the klipot and the imperfections, we spoke today a little bit about being an onion, right? The Rebs. Rebs, you ate? Yeah, we have to make sure you gain weight. So, tell them to come here. So in Olam HaKlipot, there are a few different types of klipot. And we know that there are two different types of klipot, main categories. The first one is klipat noga. We'll see what it is. And then on the other side is the rest of the klipot. And that's a concept you find a lot in Kabbalah on what is klipat noga. So the lower level is the three klipot that there are tum'ah, completely tameh, and there's only bad in them, exist only bad in them. And that is brought in Sefer Yecheskel in Perek Aleph, Pasuk Dalet. Ruach se'ara, anan gadol, esh mitlakachat. A great wind, great cloud, and a roaring fire. And again, this shiur is for refuah shlema of Yehuda ben Leah and Rachel bat Zilpah. The explanation is very simple, because every reality in this world has a root in the spiritual worlds. Every reality. You have to remember that. And therefore, all the roots, right, that are connected to the Kedusha are connected to the Sitra, to the side of the Kedusha, and the 10 Sferot, as we said before, that are connected with Tum'ah are all connected to the Sitra Achara, and everything is placed on its roots, good or bad. For example, the existence of all the non-kosher animals or forbidding types of food. I don't know, what you want to eat? Lobsters. Why stop at lobsters? You know? Crocodiles, right? Or, I don't know, whatever people eat. Or, for example, things that we not supposed to make, that are kosher. We'd say basar v'chalav, dairy and meat. Basar v'chalav.
Dairy or fish.
And so on and so forth. Everything else that whether it's a non-kosher animal or it's a non-kosher process with that, especially wine, stam yeinam, even if it's in a terrific whiskey, right? If you ask me a question, right, what would I rather have if I had a choice? A sip of, 30-year-old whiskey or a...
Rashi wine.
A what?
Rashi wine.
No Rashi wine. I don't Rashi wine. Lobster. Right? We will take the whiskey. You take the whiskey, huh? I'll take the lobster. I mean, the whiskey will make me hungry. Then I will have to eat the lobster too. But you can take only one. Anyway, you should know that if it's a whiskey that has cherry caskets, that was aged in cherry casket, or a lobster, of course, lobster midoraita is going to be more severe. However, in terms of what it does to your body spiritually, the damage is the same. Because we explained that it's beyond, above and beyond our spiritual ability to process those foods, and therefore it become a spiritual cholesterol within our system until we don't feel anything spirituality whatsoever. And then it's all pure desire. This point on, uncontrolled, unexplained. So all these things, or for example, if we're talking about kilayim, planting wheat and grapes and so on and so forth, all these things that asur come from those three sfeirot, these three klipot. And not that by itself, but even everything that we talk or think that are associated with the shasa mitzvot lo taseh, with the 365 mitzvot that we're supposed to prevent ourselves from doing, and everything that Chazal or Miderabanan made the gzera, decree around it, all those things receive the chayut from those three klipot. That in them, it's all bad. I mean, you really look at this like this, that Chazal really do you a favor. When they said, don't do this, or don't do that. And things changed. Now, on the other hand, all the spiritual part of the kosher animals that are allowed to us to eat, and everything else that is allowed to us to eat, or action, or talking that is associated with the other side, right? In other words, it's not that really is asur, but it's not l'shem shamayim. That comes from the other klipa, and it comes from the klipa that we call klipat noga. So, for example, I'm allowed to eat, I don't know, what is this here? Crackers. I'm allowed to eat crackers and hummus, right? Or sushi. But I'm not eating it with an intent for a mitzvah. I'm eating it for my belly, for my ta'ava. There is a hashpa'ah, an influence of the klipat noga on it. As a result of that, the influence is going to be less, but it's still going to be there, affecting you. For example, if a person is sick, argument's sake, right? It's not the same example, but an idea. If you take antibiotics, it's good for you, right? Antibiotics is good. So to prevent becoming sick, instead of taking vitamins, I'll take antibiotics. What will happen to me? It's going to be bad. Eventually those things as well. Now, Klipat Noga exists not only in Olam HaAsiyah, but exists also in higher worlds. However, that in Klipat Noga, in Olam HaAsiyah, most of it, which is our world, most of it is bad, mixed with a little bit of good. Remember when we spoke about the in Tu B'Shvat, we made that special deleted scenes that didn't make the cut. Shiur, we were talking about the different types of wine, right? Red wine with white wine with a little bit of red, and then red with a little bit of white, and then red completely. So those, most of them are bad. In our world, most of them are bad. So we are talking about almost to the level of, if you correspond with the red wine with a little bit of white wine. A little chesed, but a lot of din to it. Okay? In a higher world, it's going to be chetzi tov v'chetzi ra, half and half. Right? You go up. Remember again the 4 cups that we were talking about. And in the other one is going to be, in a higher world than that, is going to be mostly good and somewhat bad. Beyond that level, in a higher, when I say world, I'm not talking about universes, I'm talking about spiritual levels of existence. Klipat Noga has no negia for that. It's all good, and there's no grounds for it, no grasp for it whatsoever. In our world, we have to be very careful, because there is some good to it, but a lot of it is bad. And since of a part of the neshama of a Jewish person comes from Klipat Noga, because of that, he has those abilities. And why is that? Because that gives him the indicator, or the ability to be able to determine between Shechianu. We spoke before about Mashiach. No, he's a Levi, he can't be Mashiach. He's just a Rebbe. It's not the same. The ability of a Jewish person to be able to say, to determine what's good and what's bad, is only because he has some of that bad mixed in with him himself. Because otherwise I can't compare. And there are people who are all good and they can't see bad, and sometimes they fall. So, this would not be finished today. That what leads us really to this is basically an introduction to what we need to do in terms of our preparation to understand what we need to do, what is really our job in this world, which we call it Inyana Birurim. In other words, making the selection, separating, assorting, sifting, and putting to the side, and so on and so forth. Almost would be like if I'll give you a melange of diamonds, right, in a parcel of meli, small diamonds, ranging from, let's say, 2 pointers to 17 pointers, all mixed together. How much is it? 200 carats? 300 carats. It's a lot of diamonds. Big parcel like this. And all I'm going to equip you with is a pair of tweezers and a loop. Special loop, not the one that you look like this. Special loop that you go like this and you sift. So there are different ways to do the beiru, the selection. One way is to separate them by sizes, right? After you separate them by sizes, you can separate it by color. You could separate it by color, then you can separate it by levels of imperfection. You can always tell through that until you reach a full selection and a whole variety. Basically, you can go to business just from this one parcel because you cover a whole entire range of things. That's basically our job. How we'll be able to do that? Well, that's a really different thing. Maybe tomorrow is what, Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, because I start to work on Parshat HaShavua already. I'll tell you about Parshat HaShavua. We have some time. I start to work on it. But if you want, if you be good, boys and girls, if you come here tomorrow, I'll continue to you, and maybe, if you'll be nice, I'll also tell you why you should not be eating so much meat. Yes, meat. Basar. Basar. So that's in terms of that. So just remember this. I gave you a lot of work. Tons of work. But it started with self-reflection and really self-awareness for your actions. Right? Questions?
Um,
Yeah.